A couple days ago, Call of Duty announced that a game mode was coming to Call of Duty that has never ever been seen before in the franchise. And what this is raids. And the reason I feel like they're doing this is that I feel like it's supposed to be, I guess, Infinity Ward's answer to not having zombies in the game, because zombies is normally the cooperative game mode that's in, Treyarch games, and Infinity Ward never really found their answer to it. So they're trying to take their shot with a new style of game mode, which is going to be raids, which is super interesting. And I think that there is a really good chance here for Infinity Ward to find their own version of their good third game mode, and I'm really excited for it. But real quick, I think I should tell everybody in the Call of Duty audience exactly what a raid even is, because I'm not sure many people that play Call of Duty are familiar with the game mode. Of course, though, I won't be going into like real depth here, and maybe if you guys want to see a video about me going into depth and explain exactly what raids are and how I think they'll be implemented into Call of Duty, then let me know down in the comment section. I'll make that video. But for now, a quick summary. So how raids work is that they're kind of long extended missions that take about 1 to 3 hours, just based on how good you are at the game and how familiar you are with them, because initially when they come out, a lot of people don't know how to beat them and they have to kind of solve it along the way. But once you get into the raids, how it kind of works is that there's different stages, and along the way you'll be just running into, random bot enemies, kind of just like grunts that you will just easily be able to kill, but sometimes they could kill you. But along the way you'll be running into puzzles, and also sometimes even at the same time mini bosses, and these are kind of the things that you fight in the stages. Because just like any mini boss, he's going to be pretty difficult to kill, and sometimes he'll just be like a bullet sponge or something like that, but most of the time you'll have to find a unique way to beat him. And this of course is where the puzzles come into the game, and sometimes these puzzles even take a lot of strategy to work with your teammates in order to find the best way to defeat this mini boss. And once you beat it, you'll be able to move on to the next stage, and you just kind of do a similar thing over and over again until you get to the end where you fight the main boss, the big boy at the end. And of course there's going to be a unique way to beat this guy, and he's going to be very difficult. And if you're able to beat him, then of course you will be good to go and you won and you defeated the raid. But also at the same time, if you die at any point during this raid, including the final boss, you will die and you will have to start over from the start. There's no save points or anything like that. It's just a one go through, and if you do it, you do it. If you fail, you fail. That's how it works. And overall, I love the idea of these raids, and they sound really cool, and I can't wait to see how Call of Duty implements them. But at the same time, each game that has raids, they're going to have their own unique spin on how the game mode works, and Call of Duty is definitely not going to be any different. But we don't really know too much about raids, but they did give us just one small little paragraph explaining at least a bit about it. And what it says is, confirmed for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 players later this year after launch, raids are a whole new experience for the franchise, a 3-player cooperative engagement requiring teamwork and strategy, puzzle solving, thinking in between the bounds of intense combat. And right away, a lot of the things you heard there at the end are things I've already talked about. Things requiring teamwork, strategy, puzzle solving, and of course you're doing that all in the middle of combat, which, as I said, is how it works. So that is definitely going to be great. But something already unique about these raids compared to at least the ones I'm familiar with is that it's only going to be 3 players, which is a lot less than anything I've seen in other raids. Normally raids from my experience have been like 8-player raids, especially in like Destiny and the Division, right? That's how raids normally are. So yeah, that's a lot less players, and honestly I'm interested to see if they would let us do these raids with even less players, maybe even 2 to even solo these, because I feel like if you lowered the number all the way down to 3 already, I mean, you might as well let us challenge ourselves and try to do them solo or something like that. But at the same time, I do know a lot of the puzzles that you do inside these raids normally require multiple people to complete, so I can definitely see that that would be a problem. But maybe just design it, for both styles of play. I don't know. But regardless, that is at least one thing they told us about the gameplay that we're going to see in this. But unfortunately, we didn't really hear that much else about gameplay. But they did actually tell us more about this. One thing they said in terms of story is that it's going to continue the story after campaign. So unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to do some crazy sci-fi stuff here that I was kind of hoping they would do, because kind of doing raids in a modern setting might not be the coolest and most epic thing in the world, but you know, it is what it is. Also, they did confirm that they do plan to do multiple of these, and what they said specifically is that they're trying to make this kind of an episodic thing. So there's going to be multiple raids come out over the lifespan of Modern Warfare 2 that we're going to be able to play. Speaking of these episodes, like, when are we even going to get this first episode? Because from what we've been told, it's not going to be there at launch. Well, believe it or not, they already told us the release time for when this is going to come out. They've told us it's going to be with Season 1 Reloaded. Now, we don't, of course, know the actual date of Season 1 Reloaded, but we know when Season 1 starts, which is on November 16th, so we could just probably guess like 2 to 3 months after that, so probably around January, we could expect to see this first raid come out, which I guess will be fun when we finally get it. Another thing I should mention is that, yes, this is going to be inside of Modern Warfare 2 and not Warzone 2. So from what we could tell, it's not going to be played on the Warzone 2 map or anything like that. And that's kind of what we currently know, at least officially, from them. But there's a couple things that I have questions about and probably can infer from this. And the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the expectations of what these raids are going to be. And as much as I'd love these raids to be on the level of Destiny 2 raids, which if you guys haven't seen before, I'd recommend looking up. Like, they are so freaking cool. But honestly, I think that the raids in this game are going to be much more similar to the Division 2 raids compared to Destiny 2 raids, as much as I wish they'd been like Destiny 2's, because oh my gosh, the boss fights, especially the ending ones, are so cool, and there's so many cool things that happens in those raids. But as I said, it's probably going to be a lot less epic because it is going to be in a modern day setting, and it doesn't seem like they're going to do any weird sci-fi stuff in this, which I feel, as I've said earlier, is a complete miss. But as I mentioned, I also have a question about how these raids are going to function, because normally raids are in games that are looter shooters, games like The Division and Destiny, games where you have to go out and grind those games in order to collect loot that you could then put on your character. You get unique guns, high legendary guns, and then you get high legendary armor and stuff like that. You get these legendary things that then after you get them, you take them into the raids. But since this game mode is going to be in Modern Warfare 2, how are they going to exactly handle this? Are they going to let us maybe use the loot that we collect in, I don't know, DMZ or something like that? Or are they just going to let us choose classes and no grinding out loot beforehand? And if that's the case, I don't know how much I really feel about that, because it's just weird, because raids aren't normally in games like Call of Duty, and as I said, they're in looter shooters normally, so I'm just interested to see how they'll handle it. But that's all I really have to say about raids in this video, and honestly, I'm curious to hear what you guys think of them. Are you guys excited for them, cautiously excited, or you just don't think they're going to work for Call of Duty? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on raids down in the comment section below. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be, and laters, guys.